Hello there. I hope you're having a great day, good morning, good evening, whenever you're watching this. I normally talk about real estate and home building, and of course I still will, but there are some times where I feel like I don't know what to talk about with that. I feel like I've covered a lot of different things. And I know, of course, there's always more to talk about with that. But some days I just feel like that. And I still have other things that I want to talk about. And, for those of you that subscribe to my channel and that watch my videos, we're similar people. We've obviously got similar mindsets. So I feel like if I'm sharing that type of information, real estate home building, then this type of information can help as well. So what I'm going to talk about today, I'm going to kind of give not my testimony, but I want to convince you to really get on the same wavelength that I'm on, and I'm going to tell you why, and I'm going to talk about the faith that I have in God and why it's so important to me, and how it positively affects everything in my life, and why I feel like things are just amazing because of this. So here we go. Through a good portion of my life, aside from going to church on Sundays and not even really regularly doing that, aside from, when I was growing up and certain seasons of my life, never did a daily devotion. And so when you don't do that, yes, you do have this core belief, you do have this confidence, but if you're not in the Word, if you're not reminding yourself of certain things every day, it's easy to forget about them and to not reflect them in your life. So, I've been doing this daily devotion now, along with two other things after that I'll talk about in other videos. It's all part of my amazing morning routine. But for about 2 months now, 2.5 months, I have been doing a daily devotion, and actually even going back to over a full year ago, I would say that at least 3 to 4 times a week I have been either reading parts of the Bible or doing a daily devotion. And a daily devotion is basically, and I've got an app on my phone, it's called the Bible app. It's great, I would highly recommend it. But what that does is it gives you a verse every day, and then it breaks down the verse, and that is what you can use to kind of keep in tune and remind yourself. And the more that you're in that and reading that, and it's just like anything else. If you're putting positive things, if you're listening to positive things, if you're reading self-motivational books, if you are going to a motivational speaker, it's like anything positive that you're putting into your head, you're going to start thinking and acting more positively because of it. This is the same thing here with daily devotion. So this is an example of one of those daily devotions. One of my favorite verses, and I don't know the exact chapter and book, but be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger. And that's something that somebody would break down and basically say, and this, if you've got kids, I mean, this is a golden verse for you. But this works in all aspects of life. Even if it's something that you're not going to get angry about. One of the verses that came up last week was about wisdom, and it basically said those who talk less and kind of hold your tongue and don't just blurt something out as soon as you are wanting to speak, you will seem wiser because of that. And I know that's something that I've always been somebody that I like to say what I'm thinking. I like to get my opinion out. I like to look like I know what I'm talking about. Sometimes you can talk a little too early, maybe before, maybe you assume, what the other person is going to say, or, where the topic is heading, or, what's going to be happening. And because you assume, now you're blurting out and talking, and maybe you were off point because of that, and now you look maybe kind of dumb because of that. But going back to be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger. So basically, how this can translate, especially if you've got kids, is, I used to hear one of my girls start crying, or, if they would start screaming about something, and immediately, like, I could feel my face boiling, my eyes about ready to pop out of my head. I was angry, like, what is going on? How dare you interrupt my life with your problem? So that's how, not being in the Word, not reminding myself of this, not practicing something daily. That's how I feel. Like, that's my initial reaction when I hear something like that. And being quick to listen means, okay, number one, don't just snap back when you hear something. Or if somebody, is coming to you, again, one of the kids, or this could be a coworker or a sibling or whatever, but somebody's coming to you, they're kind of complaining or they're just griping a little bit. You may not even really listen to the whole thing. You may just be ready to kind of snap back with what you want to say. So be quick to listen, even if it's something that you don't want to listen to. And really the biggest thing there is just, don't snap back as soon as you hear something that you don't like, whether it's a cry, a scream, the tone in which somebody is going to say something. So be quick to listen. So let's pause. Let's hear something. Let's take it in. Let's pause. Already with that little bit of pause, my scenario of my face boiling and my eyes popping out of my head and myself about ready to yell. Okay, I'm kind of putting that on pause. I'm starting to bring the temperature down. So be quick to listen. Be slow to speak. So again, listen. Don't just blurt something out and snap back. Think about what you want to say. This is probably one of the biggest things here, because if you just snap back or you say something or you respond right away, especially if it's something where you don't like the tone of somebody's voice and you're not really listening to what they say, or you don't like the fact that your son or daughter is crying while they're telling you something and you're not really listening to it, and you're just, you're going to say to them, you know what, just get along. I mean, as opposed to really listening, be slow to speak. So before you speak, think about what you're going to say. Digest. Think about what you're going to say. You'll find that you'll be much happier with what you end up saying. I know before I really started to practice this and kind of alleviate my temper, I would often regret, how I reacted or what I would say, after the situation was all over. After everything cools down, then you're kind of like, oh man, I wish I wouldn't have handled it that way. I feel really bad now, and now I'm gonna go and talk to whomever that person was, and maybe apologize or just talk with them. And but if you can kind of try and have that pause before you speak, you'll find that you are going to be much happier with what you say, and you're definitely going to have less times where you regret how the whole situation went after the fact. So be quick to listen, be slow to speak, and be slow to anger. So that's the most important one at the end, is being slow to anger. And that will kind of come naturally if you're quick to listen, you're slow to speak. And again, if this is something that you're looking at or reading every day or reading often, you're going to have a situation like this come up, and you're going to automatically think, okay, quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger. And so even if you are still angry after you're quick to listen and slow to speak, you can remember slow to anger, and just try and really just maybe walk away, take a breather before you then go on to fully address the situation. But you'll find that things work out so much better like that. Something that can be life-changing in itself. If you are now reacting differently, you're quick to listen, you're slow to speak. Even if we take the anger out of it, you're in a team meeting, or you're in a meeting with employees, quick to listen, slow to speak. Don't speak too quickly and be off point. Fully listen. You just seem much wiser and smarter if you just take it all in and speak minimally. I mean, a lot of times there's really not a lot that needs to be said, in some circumstances. Sometimes there are, but these daily devotions, and the ones that I'll read in the morning that talk about, faith and giving giving your problems to God, and and praying and asking him for things that you want in your life, and things how you want certain things to go, but just having that faith. And as you do that every day, it builds your faith, and you become stronger and stronger and more confident and reassured that because you've got God inside of you, everything's going to be fine. Yes, there are going to be hard times that come about, but overall, he's going to take care of you. He's going to provide. You can have faith in him. And if you're in this word daily, you're going to keep on strengthening and growing as a person like that, and it's going to transform who you are. I'm doing this every single day. I'm so confident and comfortable in my skin, and happy with the way that my life is going. And I just know that I don't need to feel like I'm in this rat race of, I've got to get as much done as possible. And I do have the mentality of, I do want to get done as much as possible, but I'm not stressing about it. I can do it in a different way. Yes, I want to use my time the most efficiently that I can, but I know that he's going to provide for me. So I know I don't have to just tear my hair out and be stressed out because I didn't get this done, or I didn't get that done, or I'm going into my office today and I've got this never-ending list of things that I need to do. I know I'm never going to get through it, but oh man, I really got to get this stuff done. And as I'm saying that, even like as an example, it starts to get the anxiety going inside. One of the best things about having God inside of you, and being in his word and strengthening your faith in him, is the peace that you will feel inside. And I've talked about that before, but the peace that you will have inside of you, I mean, there is no better thing. And yes, your career is important, and what you do to achieve is very important. But if you don't feel good outside of that, if you're not happy, joyful, peaceful inside, it's like, what's it all for? So that's one of the best things is just feeling that peace inside. So I really, really would encourage you to, and say you've never, I grew up in a family where I went to church. I heard the word from a young age. I know that a lot of people out there may not have that circumstance, and some of you may not be familiar with it even right now at all. And I just encourage you, aside from, the fact of like, you need to believe in Jesus, you need to believe in God. I'm telling you that what I do personally makes me feel amazing. It attributes to all of my success. I feel invincible, unstoppable, full of peace inside. If you want to feel like that, then check this out. Check this out, and you can contact me for more information on where's the best place to get started. With kind of exploring, God and looking into his word, and ultimately, I mean, the reason that I do this, and that I have the faith in him that I do, and I have the peace inside of me, is from one single thing, and that's because I believe in God. I believe that he sent his son to die on the cross for our sins, and that's really all you need to believe. And if you truly believe that he died for your sins, and it's hard to believe because that was how many thousands and thousands of years ago. So how would he even know who you are, and how would he know some of the sins that you were going to do? But as the ruler of the world and the universe, he sent his son as a sacrifice for the sins that you would commit in the future, for the sins that people committed back then. And if you truly believe that, you are saved. You are going to heaven. And that right there is where everything stems from. Because if you can say to yourself, you know what, I'm just passing by on this earth. Yes, I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to do as much as I can. But this is just temporary. This isn't the end game here. And just what a great feeling that is. You don't have to put too much pressure on yourself, because you know that this isn't it. And ultimately, you're going to be somewhere that you're going to be for eternity. You're going to feel no pain. Things are going to be perfect. And just knowing that is where everything else comes from. From there, you can build your faith. That's where the peace comes from. I mean, the fact that that's what I believe and that's what I know. What do I have to be worried about? What do I have to be anxious about? Yeah, there's bumps in the road that come up, and there could be some really, really major, nasty things that happen in your life, but in the grand scheme of things, this is temporary. You're passing by. You're going to be somewhere else. So if you know that and you truly believe that, the growth that you can experience from there is amazing. So that's all I've got for this one. Please, if this is something that you're not familiar with, reach out to me. You can email me, Chris, JCRIS, Lawrence, LAWRENCE, at gmail.com. You can comment. I would love to be able to get you where I am. Just no better feeling, and the amazing things that can happen off of your just believing this one single thing. It's just incredible and completely life-changing. So I hope you take me up on that. Have a great rest of the day.